I get it when you're hunting for a home theater projector. The first thing that pops up is a cheap 1080p unit on sale for a fraction of the price of a real 4K model. You grab it, set it up, and after a few movie nights the picture looks washed out, the colors feel flat, and the screen never quite feels cinematic. That regret is why I paused before I even considered the BenQ TK705i. I wanted to know if paying a little more now would actually save the headache of a second purchase later. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The first thing I asked myself was, does this projector solve the exact problems I keep hearing about in forums: low brightness in daylight rooms, laggy gaming, and a clunky interface that turns movie night into a tech support session? The TK705i isn't just a big screen box, it's trying to be the all-in-one solution for families that stream Netflix, gamers that want low input lag, and anyone who wants a TV-like experience without a wall-mounted panel. That's a tall order, so let's break down where it actually delivers and where it still leans on the good enough side. First off, the brightness claim of 3000 lumens is the kind of number that matters if your living room gets any daylight at all. I set up the projector in a medium-sized family room with a single north-facing window, and the picture stayed vivid even with the curtains partially drawn. The HDR10 and HLG support gave the highlights a punch you usually only see on a high-end TV, and the colors didn't look oversaturated like some budget 4K projectors that try to fake depth. In practice, that means you can actually watch a nature documentary during a sunny weekend brunch without reaching for a lamp. Now, if you're a gamer, the low-lag claim is the real litmus test. The TK705i ships with a 16 milliseconds input lag figure and HDMI 2.1 support, which is rare in this price range. I hooked it up to a PlayStation 5 and a Nintendo Switch for a quick round of Spider-Man, Miles Morales and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. The motion felt buttery, and I didn't notice any ghosting even during fast-paced racing sequences. The MEMC, Motion Estimation Motion Compensation, feature helped smooth out lower framerate content without making it look like a soap opera, which is a nice hidden bonus for sports fans who watch live games on a projector. The built-in Google TV is another point where the TK705i tries to be more than a blank screen. Instead of wrestling with an extra streaming stick, you get a full Android-based interface, voice search, and a library of apps right out of the box. In my everyday use, that saved me a couple of HDMI ports and reduced cable clutter. The remote is fairly straightforward, but the learning curve comes when you start digging into the 8-way smart image adaptation settings. Those controls let you fine-tune the picture for different ambient light levels, but they're hidden behind a series of menus that can feel like a mini lecture if you're not used to projector calibration. Once you get past that, the auto adjustment works well. Walk away, and the projector recalibrates the keystone and focus without you having to tweak anything manually. Speaking of focus, the optical zoom is a practical strength. Because the unit can physically zoom up to 1.2, you can place it a little farther from the screen and still hit a 150-inch image without losing sharpness. That flexibility is a lifesaver if your room layout doesn't allow for a short throw distance. However, the trade-off is that the lens is a bit noisy when the zoom is at its maximum. In a dark home theater setting you might not notice, but in a bright, daytime environment the fan whir can become a background distraction, especially during quiet dialogue scenes. So, who should actually consider buying the TK705i? If you have a dedicated media room or a living space where you can control ambient light most of the time, this projector gives you a true 4K HDR experience that rivals many entry-level 4K TVs at a lower overall cost when you factor in the screen size. Families that stream a lot, gamers who need low lag, and sports fans who appreciate the large picture will find the built-in Google TV and HDMI 2.1 ports a genuine convenience. The 3-year warranty also adds a layer of confidence that many cheaper models simply don't provide. On the flip side, if you're looking for a plug-and-play device that you can toss on a desk and use in a bright office, you might skip this one. The need for a darkened room to get the best HDR punch, the initial menu navigation, and the occasional fan noise make it less suited for on-the-go presentations or bright day viewing. Likewise, if you already own a high-quality 4K TV and just want a secondary display for occasional movie nights, the extra setup effort and space requirement might not be worth the incremental screen size. Another practical weakness worth mentioning is the lack of lens shift. To get a perfectly rectangular image, you have to align the projector dead center with the screen, which can be a hassle if you're